The chapters. What follows is a brief summary of what's included in each chapter in Volume 2, Creating Places. Chapter 1, Case Studies. 3 case studies show how the contents of this volume can aid in creating relationships we can use in our work. They discuss the effects of prevailing winds, climate, land features, rain shadows, and the impact of passages to travel through troubling areas. Each affects the sort of sovereign power suggested by a region and how alliances and enemies can be forged, some changing with time. Each power will have different ideologies and geographical features and needs, which can help us determine relationships between different powers. Chapter 2, Creating a Planet. This chapter focuses on creating an Earth-like planet. World builders should understand the role of the moon and its effect on tides, seasons, and more if we intend to have a moon different from our own or multiple moons. Mention of other planets, constellations, and comets can make our world seem like it's not an island. The equator, climate zones, prevailing winds, and rain shadows all affect how much precipitation falls in an area, which in turn affects all life there, including vegetation or the lack thereof. Understanding these basics will help us create believable landscapes. Chapter 3, Creating a Continent. Which hemisphere our continent lies in affects the seasons and might impact where we place constellations. Understanding plate tectonics can help us build believable mountain ranges and place volcanoes where they might occur. This can also determine where deep areas of the sea are, giving our sea monsters somewhere to call home. We have some liberty to name bodies of waters what we want, but this chapter includes details on when to use which name, including seas, bays, inlets, and more. Chapter 4, Creating Land Features. A continent will have mountains, volcanoes, lakes, rivers, forests, woodlands, savannas, jungles, prairies, wetlands, and deserts, but world builders should understand each to place them in believable locations. While some aspects are obvious, minor details can change our decisions and augment our resulting stories. Why say characters have entered a run-of-the-mill forest when we can say it's a savanna instead, describing how it looks and what life is like for inhabitants and those traversing it. This chapter aids world builders in making a more varied landscape, one that is accurately depicted. Chapter 5, Creating a Sovereign Power. Kingdoms, empires, dictatorships, and more are types of sovereign powers that world builders can create. Before we do, a high-level understanding of the differences between them is crucial. Many variations to government types exist, which gives us freedom to tweak details for our needs, but we should know the rules before we break them. The rule of sovereignty, including how it is gained and lost, is examined in this chapter, along with the divine right of kings. We also look at the head of state and head of government roles, the differences between them, and the conflicts that can arise. The nature of each branch of government is examined, along with parliamentary systems. Democracies, federations, theocracies, monarchies, autocracies, and more are examined for their key differences. Inventing a sovereign power should include friends and enemies who shape policy, lifestyle, and culture. The form of government has significant impact on inhabitants and results from worldview. History affects this as well, and while creating a history is optional, it enriches the dynamics of relationships and can create heroes, villains, and attitudes in the population. We should consider which species are present and in how great a percentage, and what languages are spoken or forbidden. Our power's location and climate will impact lifestyles and vegetation, which also influences what natural resources it has or lacks, and what the power does as a result. These can all lead to tensions both with other powers or the residents. Symbols, colors, flags, and slogans will be a source of pride and even fear for both foreigners and the population. Chapter 6, Creating a Settlement. Location impacts the settlement more than many world builders realize, from climate to terrain and water supply. But our neighbors also determine how much fortification is needed and the number of armed forces, including their skill sets. Ancient and recent history can bring lasting change and cause attitudes that enrich our setting. Our population's diversity is also critical for determining what life is like for the majority and minorities alike, but first we need to decide who is who and why, how much power they have, and whether they can subvert those who are supposedly in power. Whether outposts, castles, villages, towns, or cities, or even an orbiting station, a settlement will have secrets, a reputation, colors, symbols, and local lore that characterize it in the minds of inhabitants, friends, and enemies.